Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're well. I'm fine, and I want to welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. So, as a majority of us are aware, that 1st of December in Kenya we celebrate World AIDS Day. So this will happen coming Sunday, and the venue will be at Nyayo Stadium. So I decided to do a video on World AIDS Day and to discuss more about HIV because this day of 1st of December, it's all about HIV and AIDS. And we know if you're in Kenya, the government has a plan of ending HIV by the year 2030. So there's something else that have come up, and the government discussed this in February this year, and it is called triple threat. So triple threat is the overlapping of HIV, new infection, gender-based violence, and causes of teenage pregnancy. So these are the three things that are really moving very fast in our nation, and the government is planning to end the triple threat by the end of the year 2027. So I thought of doing a video as we celebrate the World AIDS Day, so that maybe I shed more light about things to do with HIV, things to do with who is eligible for HIV test, and how can we protect ourselves or prevent ourselves from contracting HIV. So who is eligible for testing? So, of course, everyone is eligible for HIV test as long as you're HIV negative or you don't know your status. So, someone who is HIV positive is not eligible for HIV test. So, who are the people? Because most people they go to a health facility and they're like, I want to know my status, and they're being told you're not eligible for HIV test, and they're wondering where. Kwani things have changed? Yes, things have changed. So nowadays, a general population, these are people who maybe you are married and you are faithful to your partner and you only have one partner and you are not at risk. You have not experienced any risk in your life. You test HIV after every 2 years. But if you have experienced any risk in your life, you test HIV that time of the initial contact. Like let's say for example, you are with someone and then when you're having sex, maybe you used condom and then condom busted. Or you didn't use condom at all and you don't know the status of this person. So you can't say that. They said we test after 2 years. So you just sit there pretty and wait for 2 years. Nah. If you have experienced any exposure or if you feel like you are at risk of getting HIV, you should get tested. So, number one, who are the people who are supposed to be tested after every 3 months? Because initially that was the trend, like after every 3 months, someone will go walk into a health facility and want to know their status. So, number one, these are discordant couples. For example, the meaning of discordant couple is if I'm married and my spouse is positive and I'm negative, or if you're married and you're negative and your spouse is positive. So, discordant couples are people who stay together, they are partners, but one partner is positive and the other partner is negative. So, this negative partner should be tested after every 3 months because the positive partner is already on ARVs, so they are not eligible for HIV test. And that is why we test the negative partner after every 3 months. Number two category of people who are supposed to get tested after every 3 months are people who inject drugs. People who inject drugs, they're at risk of getting HIV because most of us we saw the video maybe in Mombasa where people are using syringes and all that and the needles, and sometimes it's so sad that they end up even sharing that. So people who inject drugs are at risk of getting HIV, and that is why they test HIV after every 3 months. And then we have the key population. Key population are people like FSW, female sex workers. Of late, their name has changed, so they are no longer female sex workers, but they are called pleasure consultants. Yes, pleasure consultants. So this a category of people who are supposed to get tested after every 3 months. Pleasure consultant, the previous name was FSW, which means female sex workers. And then we have MSM, men who have sex with men. They're supposed to get tested after every 3 months. And then people who are supposed to test after every 3 months are people who are at risk. For example, if you experience a condom burst today, you will walk to a health facility, you will be tested, and then you will be given a prevention measure if you're negative. And then you will go back after 1 month, and then you get HIV test. And then after that, you should go back and test after 3 months. So these are people who are supposed to get tested after every 3 months. And then we have, of course, street children and vulnerable people who stay in the streets. They go through a lot. Sometimes they experience even rape and harassment. So those are the people who are supposed to get tested after every 3 months. So now the question is, who is supposed to get tested continuously? So I'll explain different a category of people who will always get HIV test regularly. So number one, these are discordant couples. So discordant couple is every 3 months. Now let's go to women who are pregnant. So if you're a woman and you are pregnant, you should get tested the first contact, which means the first day you visit a health facility for antenatal clinic, the first day you are starting your ANC clinic, you should get tested. And then the third trimester. Third trimester means if somebody is pregnant, they go through 3 trimesters. So that is the first 3 months, the second 3 months, and then the third 3 months when now they give birth. So you get tested the first contact, and then the last 3 months. In between, you get another test. So you'll be tested twice if you are pregnant, and that is why we encourage our mothers that you should start ANC clinic early. So if you are pregnant, you should visit a health facility and start your clinic as soon as possible. Actually, as soon as you realize you are pregnant, yes. And I'll even encourage men to accompany their wives. Most men, they don't want to accompany their wives. Like, they'll be like, you go. If you're negative, I'm okay. So it is good to accompany your wife, not because you are going to do a HIV test for both of you as couples, but because you will also understand the journey of pregnancy. You will also play a part in this journey of pregnancy, and you'll be able even to know some things. What are the do's and don'ts? What are the things or the kind of food your spouse should eat? What are the things that your spouse should avoid so that you be in the picture? So if you're a man and your wife is expectant or you're planning to have a baby, kindly escort your spouse to the health facility. More so, the first clinic. Make sure you are there with her. It's so sad sometimes when you see women, they're just coming alone from the first clinic until the last one. Even when they come to deliver, they're just alone. They labor alone. Maybe sometimes even there's no neighbor to come and visit. So it's a long journey for women, and that time is when they need you the most. That time is when this woman needs you to play your role as a partner and to be there with her. So make sure that if you are planning to get married, if you're planning to have a baby, always escort your wife to the health facility. After third trimester, you'll also get tested at labor and delivery. So when you are at the maternity, you'll also get tested. And then after that, you'll be tested again after 6 weeks. And then after 6 weeks, you'll be tested after 6 months. This is somebody who now you have delivered and you have your baby. So in labor and delivery, we'll get HIV test. After 6 weeks, we'll return the baby after 6 weeks for injection. We'll also have an HIV test as a mother. And also, if you're couples, you'll be tested as couples. And then after 6 months, and then after 1 year, and then after 18 months, and then after 2 years, and then after every 6 months, as long as you are breastfeeding. So, if you breastfeed your baby for 5 years, just know that after every 6 months, you'll get a HIV test so that we eliminate this mother to child transmission. And that is why you find that most mothers they ask, like, Aki, you guys have been testing me for so long. Aki, I've gone to this facility. Every time I go there, they test me. It's because they try to eliminate mother to child transmission. Because one of the ways that you can transmit HIV to your child is through breastfeeding. And that is why, as long as you're breastfeeding this baby, you will always get a HIV test after every 6 months. Now, couples. If you're a couple, you can visit any health facility and get a HIV test. Personally, I always like it when people work together because you'll be able to get the information together. So let's go to mode of transmission of HIV. How can someone be infected with HIV? Number one, and this is the major one, the major one is through sex. And as I've said earlier, about the 2 years period, now there's this person who maybe you are married and now you're not married, maybe you separated with your partner or you're in a serious relationship and you are faithful with one another, but now you are not dating. So in case you get a new partner, you're supposed to get a HIV test, because once you are having sex with this person, you are at risk of getting HIV because you don't know their status. So if you have a new partner, you should get tested with that new partner. Don't say I don't belong to the ones that do the ones that should test after every 3 months. Me, I wait until 2 years. No. If you have a new partner, you don't know their status, kindly make sure you get a HIV test so that you can know their status. Because one of the major way or the major mode of transmission of HIV is sex. So if you're having sex with someone who is HIV positive, they will infect you unless they are taking their drugs well. And if you want to know more about that, you can watch my video that I did sometimes back about you equals to you, undetectable and transmissible. I explained all about how you can sleep with somebody who is positive and you are negative and they will not transmit HIV. So you can watch that video. So if you get a new partner, umeoga, umerudi soko, as they say. People from diaspora, oga na kurudi soko means you have a new partner. So you are dating someone previously and now you have a new person. Yes. So you should get tested and know the status of this person. Again, when it comes to sex again, you find that the people were in marriage, but one partner is not faithful. If your partner is not faithful, again, don't stay there and say, I will not go for HIV test. You should go for HIV test. And the sad reality is nowadays, most people in marriage, they're turning positive than people who are single. Yes, it's the sad reality. So if you're a man and you have a side chick will tell you, let's use condom. And you'll adhere to that because you don't want to lose her. But your wife cannot tell you that you use condom. So now if you get a side chick who is HIV positive and they're like, I'm okay without using condom. So you'll get infected and then you go infect your spouse. Even women, nowadays, even women, they cheat in marriage. So if you sleep with someone who is HIV positive, and then you come back and sleep with your spouse who is your husband, you will infect them with HIV. So it's the sad reality that most people in marriage are turning positive. So you find that somebody is a mubaba. So you have this a university girl and you're married. This university girl, maybe she's HIV positive and she's not taking her drugs. And you come, unamkatia, anaingia box, you have sex, and then you go back sleep with your wife. Or you go back, sleep with your husband. So a lot of cheating in marriage, we find that most people are getting HIV because you cannot tell your partner you use condom. But now there's good news. When I come to prevention part, you'll understand how you can protect yourself even if you have a partner who is cheating so that you remain negative. So after doing the HIV test, so let's go to mode of transmission. I've said number one is sex. That is the major one, it's sex. Someone said that Nairobi is a big bedroom. So you find that soko ni chafu and everyone is after sex. If you're that kind of a person who like or love to sleep around, you sleep with everybody because sex is cheap in Nairobi. Sex is cheap everywhere. Like anybody can have sex. You understand? And I always say that it's not all about sex. What else can you offer? Because you find that somebody is saying, "Oh, I'm good in bed. I can do it better," or blah blah blah. But apart from that, is that if that is taken away from you, if that is taken away from you, what do you have? What can you present? So even as you have sex, make sure that you take care of yourself and you take care of your partner. We have come to a point where being healthy is your own responsibility. Don't say that I told him, I told her, she refused, he refused. No, it's your own responsibility. So another mode of transmission is through mother to child. And number one mode of transmission is breastfeeding. And a mother to child breastfeeding, and then during labor and delivery. And that is why we always encourage mothers who are HIV positive to give birth at a health facility. Don't give birth in shags there, kwa mama mkunga. I don't know, you are going to this midwife. in their homes and you are giving birth and you are HIV positive, you are putting your baby at risk because you may have prolonged labor. So prolonged labor can put your baby, or prolonged labor puts unborn child into a risk of contacting HIV. So make sure that you give birth to a health facility and make sure they know that you are HIV positive so that they can really support you. They can give you drugs for the baby if you don't have, and also they can even give you ARVs if you don't have, because sometimes labor comes that you're not even expecting it to come, and you end up even going to a facility where you don't take your meds from there. So these people will be able to assist you with medication. Yes, another mode of transmission is through open wounds, which is not that high. Like, for example, if someone bites you and maybe you have a sore throat, or you have some sores on your tongue or in your mouth, you can transmit HIV. But the major mode of transmission is sex. Now, what are the prevention measures? Because as the government is planning to end HIV by the year 2030 in Kenya, let's ask ourselves, are we there? Because we are having new infections. As the government is planning to end HIV by 2030, me and you, we should ask ourselves, will we reach there? Because we are having a lot of side chicks, there's a lot of sponsor, people are sharing, like people are having sex right, left, and center. They don't care who they're having sex with. Someone will just tell you I was drunk, I don't even know who I slept with, and we're having new infections every day. And you find that older people are now having a relationship with younger people. Then these people, when they meet, when a slay queen tells you as a mubaba that I don't want condom, you'll be so humble. You'll be like, it's okay, my dear, it's okay. You know, everything is yes. And I always say, love yourself. Nobody will take care of you. Nobody is concerned about you. Nobody cares about your health. Nobody cares what you do. So it is you to take that precaution and to have boundaries and to have choices. We don't sleep with anything as long as they're wearing skirt, or as long as they are women. You don't sleep with everybody as long as they are men. But at least have boundaries and know that your health is your responsibility. One day I asked someone, this is someone she was pregnant and she knew she's HIV positive. So I asked her, what are your plans? Where the father? She told me, no, you know what, Oyamo? Even the father of this child, hata ajui mambo yangu. He doesn't know that I'm HIV positive. I don't care because I don't want to get married. I just wanted a baby. In my head, I was like, so this guy, he didn't even take that precaution or even think of going to do HIV test. And she was telling me, even this guy is married. And I was like, your health, your responsibility. I didn't blame the lady. I blamed even the guy because if you have a family, you should take extra care. You should know who you are sleeping with. I mean, and why should you sleep around and you have a wife? So, what are the prevention measures? Number one prevention measure is PEP, Post Exposure Prophylaxis. So this one, it's a drug that you are given after you have been exposed within 72 hours. I'll explain. So if you meet someone and then you have unprotected sex or you experience condom burst and you don't know this person, you don't know their status, or maybe you're not even in a relationship. Like nowadays, I see people saying, let's meet and smash. I don't know, it's all about sex. So many things. That's why I'm saying that sex has become so casual. So if you sleep with someone and maybe you experience a condom burst, or you didn't even use the condom in the first place. I know most of us will go and lie, hey, condom ilipasuka, hey, it was a condom burst, but did you use condom? Anyway, so you should go to a health facility within 72 hours and then you will be given PEP. Then we'll take this drug for 28 days. For you to be given PEP, you must have an HIV test. Why? You don't know your status. or maybe you tested sometimes back and you are negative, but now you don't know your status. And also PEP is given to someone with HIV negative. So one of the requirements is you have an HIV test. When the result stands negative, you'll be given PEP. So you'll take PEP for 28 days. After 28 days, you'll go back to the health facility and do another HIV test. When the test is negative, you will wait for 3 months, go back again and do another test. And from there, if the test is negative, you are HIV negative. That is number one prevention measure, PEP, Post Exposure Prophylaxis. The reason why it's called post, it means after exposure. So it is post exposure. So that is why you run to a health facility within 72 hours. And some of you go to a facility and then you lie. You are like, it happens like Friday, it happens, but deep down your heart, 72 hours are over. But you are cheating the doctor because you need the drug. At the end of the day, you're not even helping yourself. You're not helping that doctor because 72 hours are already over. But now you are lying. It was Friday, but it was last week. So make sure that you run to a health facility within 72 hours. If the other partner tells you, I'm negative, tell them, let's go and have HIV test. If they refuse or they tell you, I'm busy today, we can go tomorrow, or I'm busy today, we can go next week, you go, get tested, start PEP. When they find time, you can go and have HIV test together, but don't risk and wait there. You are waiting for them, and then by the time they are coming back, it is 2 weeks, it is 1 week, and then you go together and then they turn positive. You understand? So make sure that's why I always say, and I'll repeat saying that our health is our responsibility. So number two prevention measure is PrEP, and I don't want us to confuse these two. So the first one was PEP, post-exposure prophylaxis. The second one is PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis. So this one is pre because you have not experienced exposure. You are planning to go have sex with someone. You are at risk and you feel like I need something that is long term because PEP is not long term. Actually, you should take PEP only twice in a year. So if you realize you're going for PEP every now and then you qualify for PrEP and not PEP. So pre-exposure prophylaxis is a drug, and all these drugs are ARVs, by the way. They're not, don't say that I was given ARVs. They're ARVs. We have so many different types of ARVs. So for this one of pre-exposure, you have not experienced the exposure. You are not exposed. The first one, you are exposed. And then you run to a health facility within 72 hours. The second one, you are not exposed. So, for example, you have this partner who is coming back maybe to Kenya, or this partner stays in a different town, maybe in Nairobi, then Mombasa, and they're coming back maybe within 2 weeks or 1 month. So what you do, you start taking PrEP. And PrEP, you should take PrEP 7 days before exposure. So if you'll be having sex next week on Wednesday, you should start PrEP a week before. So that by the time you're engaging in that sex, already you have taken PrEP for at least 7 days. So unlike PrEP you take as long as you are at risk. You don't stop like PEP after 28 days. But PrEP, you take every day as long as you are at risk. I'll give an example. You're a lady, you have like 3 guys. So there's one for rent, there's another one for hair, there's another one for kupiga sherehe. So because you are comfortable having the three of them, you should take PrEP. Because when you're not with them, you don't know what they are doing outside there. And the sad part is you have the three. One has other two, another one has maybe three, another one has maybe four. So it's a chain. And that is the real definition of Nairobi is a big bedroom. Yeah, if you know, you know. So, as I said, your health or responsibility, you as a lady should take PrEP. as long as you're at risk, because having more than one partner or having a partner who is not faithful, it puts you at risk of getting HIV. So if you're in that category, you should be taking PrEP every day. Once you are out of the risk, you can stop taking PrEP. So as long as you're in this relationship, even if it will take you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you should be taking PrEP for that duration. When one day you decide, now I'm retiring from this, I want to focus on my life, I don't want to have many relationships, I think now I'm good, I can be faithful to my partner, now you can stop taking PrEP. But now, sometimes you stop taking PrEP thinking that your partner is faithful, and then one day character development inakuchapa like this. Like one day you get things that you are not expecting, and then you will panic because you don't know your HIV status. But when you're on PrEP, nothing will shake you, because you know, as long as I'm taking my drugs well, that is PrEP, I'm not at risk of getting HIV because I'm taking PrEP. Now, what's the difference between PrEP and ARVs? Someone may ask me, why should I be taking PrEP every day, like someone who's HIV positive, because even them, they're taking their ARVs every day. The difference is this. For PrEP, as long as you're out of risk, you can stop. For ARVs, that is being taken by someone who's HIV positive, they take ARVs for the rest of their lives. So there's no drug holiday. There is no stories that, I'm out of risk. There is no the stories of, it was raining, I traveled, no, they're taking their drugs every day. So that's the difference. So if you're HIV positive, adhere to your drugs, take your drugs every day faithfully, because your health, your responsibility. If you're HIV negative and you're at risk, take PrEP faithfully, because your health, your responsibility. So another HIV prevention measure is risk reduction counseling. This is being done by a professional. I will tell them your behaviors. This is what I do when I'm drunk. Every woman is beautiful. When I have money, I feel like I can marry everyone in this world. When this and this is happening, when I'm so happy, I feel like I can have all these women for myself. I can be Solomon. Hmm? So you talk with your counselor, and then you weigh out what are the pros, what are the cons, and what can you do, what can you reduce. It is about alcohol. What can you do about that? The journey of quitting alcohol slowly by slowly. If you feel like you're that kind of a person that when you are drunk, everyone is beautiful, what can you do differently? Can you have friends who will be there for you, like accountability friends, things like that. So risk reduction counseling is something that you sit down with your counselor, and you weigh out everything, you discuss everything, and you come up with a solution. And then there is also VMMC, voluntary men circumcision. So this also helps by reducing HIV with certain percentage. So if you're not circumcised, you can think about it. Nowadays, it's not for certain tribe; it is for everyone. And I like what most I like what parents are doing nowadays during school holidays. Circumcision is being done to our young adults, that is our boys, which is a good thing. So another prevention measure is condom. This is the best, because condom will protect you from HIV, from STI, and from pregnancy. So if you're using condom faithfully, the triple threat, condom will protect you from two. It will protect you from new infections, that is HIV. It will protect you from teenage pregnancy. Yes. So condom is the best. If you can use condom, it's the best. I know there's some guys who say the huwezi kula ndizi na maganda. Yeah, I know. I know the people who say no, this thing, blah blah. It's okay. It's your life. Oh. So if you can use condom, will protect. It's a double protection. Yeah, more so for ladies, will not get pregnant, will not get HIV. Of course, will not even get STIs. So condom is the best, but apparently, yeah, some of us we are not embracing it. So yeah, tutapambana na hali. So those are prevention measures that we can take to protect ourselves from getting HIV. And then as I finish, if you have someone who's HIV positive, please support them. It is not an easy journey. Actually, the other time I was given some drugs. I went to a health facility and I was given some drugs. They're building your immunity and also I don't know what. So there were 30 tabs in that can, a sachet. So now I was asking myself the other day because, okay, I've tried to swallow those drugs because I should take them every day for 30 days just to boost your immunity and all that. But in a figure point, me, I'm just tired. And they're not like I'm putting them somewhere. They're just on the table. Like I see them every day. But I keep on forgetting. Like to go month two, we're in the second month. I don't even know if I'm halfway. Yeah. So sometimes I feel like these people who take drugs every day, we should really support them. We should really be there for them. Like if you're taking any drug, not only ARVs, maybe you're on blood pressure drugs, diabetic, any other disease that you're taking your drugs every day. Okay, good job. Keep it up. It is not easy, but keep it up. Now I know. I was wondering, hey, these drugs were only 30 days for 30 days. But every time after eating, I remember when I'm sleeping, hey, I didn't take the drug. I'm like, even at some point, I was checking at the expiry date. Well, so yeah, it is not easy. It is not easy for our sisters, our brothers, our moms, our dads outside there who you are taking your drugs, any type of drug. May God give you grace and may you continue. It is not an easy thing. I've come to really appreciate clients who take their drugs faithfully. And some of you, even like some of us, even Panadol, even antibiotics. You are given azithromycin for 3 days, maybe. You take the first, then you're like, I'm feeling better. And you and drugs, that's it. So let's encourage, let's support them, let's be there for them. If you have a client or you have a relative or a significant person in your life that is taking drugs, Aki, hug them for me and tell them not to give up. So thank you so much. I pray that God will help us and also you'll take care of yourself. I am really praying that we'll not reach a point where we'll have a generation that is full of weak immunity. In terms of nowadays, it is a sad reality that our young people, our youth, are taking a lot of things. People are smoking bang, people are taking alcohol, people are smoking shisha, I don't know, people are smoking what and what. And you find that people have very weak immunity. So try your best to live a healthy life. Don't destroy your immune system, don't destroy your body, don't destroy your organs because we need to be healthy. So as I close, remember your health, your responsibility. Bye bye.